Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a great day today. So we're going to be doing a good old-fashioned makeup tutorial today. I love doing these types of videos. Unfortunately, they don't get as many views as stuff like product reviews and unboxings and all of that, but I still really like to do these types of videos, so I like to sprinkle them in here and there. But today we're going to be doing an all drugstore, all matte, everyday makeup look for fall. So this is what I came up with for today. So of course, I'm going to take you through and just show you the products that I use to do my makeup for today. So before we get into this, if you're here for the first time, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is SonyaNicole and I do makeup videos here, including some stuff for us 40 and over makeup lovers. So if you're interested, please consider subscribing while you're here today, because I would really love to have you join the channel and I would be so grateful for your support. Okay, y'all, let's jump right into it. Okay, so let me know what y'all think about this, but I wanted to use this palette today. This is the Colourpop It's a Mood palette because I just really want to use it again. I've only used it once, but Colourpop is considered like an affordable drugstore brand, but this palette costs $34, so I kind of felt like that was kind of expensive to use it in like an all drugstore, all affordable brand. So I'm not going to use it today. I'm going to use something that's what, $31 cheaper. But let me know what y'all think about that. Do y'all think it's okay to use that Colourpop palette at that price, because it is considered, you know, an affordable brand, or not? But I'm going to go in with some much cheaper eyeshadows today from e.l.f. So I already have this eye done and I also already have my brows done. I used my Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Kit. This one is in the shade, I think this is called Ash Brown, but I think it only comes in like 2 different shades. But as you can see, I've used this up quite a bit. So I did my brows with this, and then I put my eyeshadow primer on. So this is the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer in the shade Rose. So let me show y'all what I did with my eyes so far. They're almost all the way done. So I'm just going to put this on my lid. I really like this e.l.f. primer. I haven't really used it lately because I've been trying to use up a concealer that I also like using as an eye primer, and I'm almost done using that. So I'm just trying to pan it. But this one is really nice because it's like really tacky, but it's not like drying on your skin. But it's like really nice, and like it has that nice tacky feel, like your eyeshadow is going to really stick to it. So I'm going to be using a combo of 2 of the e.l.f. Bite-Sized Eyeshadow palettes. This one is the shade Cream and Sugar, and this one is the shade Berry Bad. So starting off with the Berry Bad palette, I'm taking this deep berry shade at the end, and that's going to be the color that I'm putting on the majority of my lid. And I'm just packing this color on. I'm packing it on instead of like swiping it, because I really want to like maintain the pigment. So I'm just going to keep packing it on, and I'm just going to build it up till I get it to the level of pigment that I want. And I'm just trying to build up the pigment just a little bit more, like right along the lash line, because I feel like it just looks a little sparse down there. Okay, and then I'm gonna pick up the palette in Cream and Sugar, and I'm going with this deep brown color on the end, and I'm gonna just turn my brush over and apply this to the outer part of the lid. And I really love these eyeshadow palettes because they're only $3 each. And to me, they are some of like the best performing eyeshadows out there. I'm picking up a slightly more fluffy brush, and I'm gonna go back into that brown shade and sweep this across my lower lash line. I want this to be a little bit more pigmented on the outer part of the lower lash line compared to the inner part, but I am going to sweep it all across the lower lash line. And then going back into the first palette, I'm picking up this light matte shade. It's like a light like peachy pink shade, I guess. And I'm just going to kind of buff that around all of the other eyeshadows. So I'm just kind of using this color to kind of like diffuse the other eyeshadows out and just make sure everything is kind of like blending one into the other. So when I did the other eye, I was blending for quite some time, but I feel like that's the way that you get like a nice blend, is if you just, you know, take your time and just blend. So I'm just gonna keep blending until I feel like the colors are nicely fusing one into the other. Really concentrating on the outer part here because of that dark brown shadow that we put down. And I'm sure I'm gonna cut some of this out, but like I said, I am just taking my time, just blending until I feel like it's nice and blended in. So I kind of feel like on this eye I have a little bit more of the brown shade than I do over here. So I'm going to stick with my small blending brush. I'm going back into the deep brown shade and I'm going to blend out with some of this just to blend and deepen out this outer corner just a little bit, because I feel like on the other eye it's just looking a little darker. Okay, so I think that looks a little more even out now, so I'm just brushing, wiping that color off, and now I'm going back into, I just picked up the wrong palette, I'm going back into the light matte shade, and I'm just going to do like one final blend over here, just right up in this area, because I feel like I lost some of that color like right up in here. And then I'm going to blend a little bit of this on the lower lash line as well. Okay, so we're gonna stop there, and so I'm experimenting with this thing, doing my eyeliner and mascara before I do my base makeup, because I'm trying to see if that will prevent my lower lash mascara from bleeding down onto my under eye. So I'm gonna be testing that out again. So I'm gonna be using this, this is the NYX Epic Ink Liner. Now this is in the shade brown. I do have a black liquid liner from NYX somewhere that I wanted to use today. I can't find it, so I'm gonna go in with this, but it is a brown liner. And then for my mascara, I'm using what I think is my new favorite mascara. This is the Colourpop Act Natural Mascara. So I will apply these off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll start with the face. Okay, so this is what we're looking like with the eyes so far. We're going to do a little bit more to the eyes at the end, but now we're going to move on to the face. So I'm going to be using a powder foundation. So I'm going to be putting on my concealer first. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and I'm going to be mixing the shades 400 Caramel and 415 Honey. So the darker one up at the top, that one is Honey. I haven't used these concealers in a while, but I think I used to just do kind of like a 50-50 mix of both of them. So I'm going to start off with that. Why are these so hard to open? Good grief. So I'm going to start off and just do kind of like an equal mix, an equal amount of both of these. And I'm just putting them in the normal areas where I would typically put my concealer. I decided to use these for today because they do have a matte finish, and I usually don't like matte finishes under the eye, but this one isn't drying for it to be a matte finish. It's actually a really nice, like, comfortable concealer on the under eye. So that's why I picked this one today. As a matter of fact, I think this is the only matte finish concealer. No, the Pat McGrath one is, I would consider that matte also, but I usually don't buy matte concealers. And I like to blend out my concealer with the Rare Beauty foundation brush. So I feel like I kind of messed up this brow a little bit, but I'll go back and clean that up later. But like I said, I'm experimenting with doing my eye makeup first, but that's one of the main reasons I like doing my base makeup first, is because I feel like it's just so hard. Well, I'll say more difficult. I'm not going to say too hard or so hard, but it is more difficult for me to like blend around my eye makeup without messing it up. It's been a long time, like I said, since I've used this concealer, but I really forgot how seamless it looks. Like, it really gives like a nice, like, seamless, smooth finish. So and put a little bit on my nose too. Okay, so that is the concealer. So I'm also going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible foundation, but I'm using the powder version. This one is in the shade 330 Hazelnut. So this particular shade, it is a little bit on the golden side for me. I wish it was just like not quite as dark and just like a little less golden, but it is definitely a shade that I can use. So I think you guys can see like right away how golden it is. So because of that, I hardly wear this foundation, and it's also a little bit more matte than I would like. So like compared to the Fenty powder foundation, which obviously is also matte, it's just not quite as full coverage and not quite as matte as this particular foundation. Like to me, this one looks a bit more makeup-y on the skin compared to the Fenty one, but this L'Oreal one, it is still a really nice foundation. So I'm just for the most part like blending this out kind of like around my concealer and focusing most of it on the cheek area because I have a lot of spots in that area of my face. My cheeks don't seem to be actively breaking out anymore, which is great because I went through like a stretch of like a couple of months of just like breakout after breakout on my cheeks, but they seem to have calmed down. So I'm still dealing with getting rid of the marks, but at least I'm not breaking out as much. Okay, so this is what the face is looking like. I think because this concealer has more of a matte finish, I think I'm going to test not setting this. I feel like when I wear this, which is not one of my regular concealers, but I think when I wear this, I do go ahead and set it. But for today, I'm just not going to set the concealer. So we're going to move on to our blush. So I'm going to be using the NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte Blush, and this one is in the shade Summer Breeze. Actually, one of my favorite blushes, but I just have been playing around with so many new blushes lately, especially cream blushes, that I just have not used this thing in a long time. But this is actually one of my favorite blushes. So I like to put my blush kind of like right behind the apples of my cheeks just to give my face kind of like that lifted effect. And then for bronzer, I'm going in with what I think is my favorite drugstore bronzer. This is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder Palette. And that's what this looks like. I like this because you get different options like all in at the same time. So I usually will put these two on the bottom on my forehead and my cheek, and then maybe this one and this one, or this one and that one on my nose, just so that the bronzer on the nose is just a little bit lighter than on the rest of my face. So I'm gonna mix those two bottom shades and just start on the forehead. And this is the same brush that I used to apply my blush. I just turned it over to the other side. Then I'm going to take the residual and just kind of pat it along the jawline. I like a very subtle bronzer along the jawline too. When I first started like getting into makeup, like if you watch any of my older videos, you would always see kind of like a harsh line along the jawline because I just wasn't blending it out as well as I should have. So now I go like really light along my jawline. And then I'm just picking up a smaller brush, and I think I'm just gonna do these two shades today. I'm gonna mix those two and use that to bronze my nose. And then I'm going back in with my foundation brush, and I'm just lightly tapping over my nose bronzer to soften it right back out and make it look just not as harsh. And before I go any further, I feel like on my eye area, I just want to kind of blend this just a little bit more. I'm not really a big fan of like that really sharp looking eyeshadow on me. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, for some reason, I just don't think it looks right on me. I think it looks better when my eyeshadow just looks like slightly more rounded. And it's more like buffed and diffused out, I guess. So I feel like I cleaned it up just a little too much with my concealer. And I feel like just being a little extra today, so I'm actually going to put just a little bit more blush on. And I'm just kind of like blending like around the blush, around the edges of the blush. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay, so now I'm gonna set my face. So I'm gonna take, I'm just gonna use this. I just need something that's kind of slim to like cover my eyes, because I don't want to get my setting spray on my mascara and my eyeliner. So I'm gonna be setting my face with the Rimmel Stay Matte 2-in-1 setting spray and primer. So you can use this for both. I only ever use this as a setting spray. So this is, I think, the only matte setting spray that I have right now, but I'm going to set my face with this. All right, and I'm just kind of air drying that setting spray. When the weather starts to cool off, I usually don't do setting spray, like especially in like really cold weather, I don't do setting spray, but because I'm doing like an all matte look today, I wanted to use the spray to kind of just like melt all of those powders down a little bit. And so now we're going to finish off with some lips. Oh wait, before we go on to lips, I gotta go back to the eyes really quickly. So I'm going back in with the Bite-Sized palette. This one is in the shade Cream and Sugar. So I'm just going to take this really light shade down at the end here, and I'm going to use that to just lighten up my inner corner a little bit. And I try to be very careful when I'm putting eyeshadow right here, because I think I had mentioned to y'all in a recent video that sometimes I'll go back and I'm editing my videos and my inner corner eyeshadow just looks like really like blinding and just over the top. So I try to just take my time with this. Now this particular shade, I will say, is coming off a bit more ashy than I would have liked, but it is brightening up the inner corner of my eye, just making it look just a bit more open. So okay, so now we're gonna move on to lips. So I usually don't do matte liquid lipsticks. I do have a couple that I like, but for the most part I don't do matte liquid lipsticks. But Makeup Revolution sent me their Matte Bomb liquid lips. So these come in 12 shades, and they sent me the whole shade range. So I do want to try these out. So I picked out 3 of the shades that I think I might actually like. So I'm gonna swatch these and show y'all what the colors look like, and then we'll pick a shade for today. I have a feeling this one is gonna be the one that I pick, but let's do a swatch of these 3 shades. I don't really want to open the ones that I'm not going to be using, because I could like put them in a giveaway or something like that. But out of these 3, I'm not sure which one I like the most, but I think it's going to be this one. Okay, so this one is in the shade, oh my goodness. This one is in the shade Delicate Brown. Looks like a mauvey brown. Yeah, it's definitely like a mauvey brown type of shade. I'm probably gonna have to use a lip liner with this one, but I do like it. I do feel like this would be a shade that I would wear. This next one is called Fancy Pink, and this one might be another promising shade with a lip liner. So I'm just trying to make the swatch a little easier to see. So that second one is called Fancy Pink. I do think I like that one too, but I think for today, out of the 2 of these, I'm gonna go with the first one, but we have one more to try out. I couldn't really tell in the packaging if this one is too much of a bright red, but I wanted to look at this one too, because it might go well with the eye look that we have on today. This one is called Burgundy Star. Oh no, it's not all that bright. So these are the 3 shades that I am thinking about. So let me know which one y'all think I should pick for today. I actually don't know between these 2. Now I'm kind of, I don't know. Should I try this one? I think I am gonna try the center one. I feel like either one of these would work with my eye look, but I'm gonna try the center one for today, but I will have to pair it with a lip liner. Okay, I just blotted off my other lip gloss. This is the NYX lip pencil in brown. Okay, and now let's go in with Fancy Pink. So this feels like a whipped matte liquid lipstick, which is great. If you have ever tried the Rare Beauty liquid lipsticks, so far they feel like that. Okay guys, and here is my completed all matte, all drugstore makeup look. So let me know what y'all think. So one quick note about these lippies. So on contact, they feel really nice. They felt really nice and whipped, like I said earlier. But all I did after I put the lipstick on was put my earrings on and kind of put my hair down. And now it's feeling like kind of sticky on the lips. Like I really want to put a lip gloss on top of it because it is feeling really sticky. So I don't know if this is a formula that I would like, but you know, maybe I'll try like a couple other shades to see if they all feel like this. But all in all, let me know what y'all think about the look, and I really hope that y'all enjoyed the video today. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.